Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. This is Carol Parisi reporting today, and our founder Jack Roser is not with us here today, but we are honored and privileged to have two great guests with us, Bill Zettler, the Director of Research for the Family Taxpayer Foundation, and Vivian Porter from Homer Lockport Tea Party. Great leader, great leadership, mom. And during the break, we were talking about this pension crisis in Illinois. And Bill, you have done some extensive research. You have devoted many years of time. You saw this brewing before the Tea Party. Little pun there, you know, stuff was brewing before the tea.
Very good.
Illinois clearly is in a crisis. Now, Vivian, I know that you collaboratively worked with Americans for Prosperity, your organization, as well as our group, Awaken America, doing a pension reform. So I guess what we would like to talk about is the great data that you acquire and the great work that the grassroots can do. How do we integrate that for true reform to get lawmakers to get the political will to do the right thing to help turn this around a little bit, this crisis?
Well, the information, as we said in the first segment, is available on the Champion News website. There's also salaries on there. So what you need to do is to take this information and present it to people that you know. If you're going door to door, take this page with you. Take this page with you. You can print this out. This is all the pensions in your area. This could be from the local school district. This could be from the park district. You'd be amazed at how many park district people get $100,000 pensions. The city you live in, Lockport, Joliet, doesn't matter. You can get it, show it to people. You'll be amazed at the numbers.
Now, Vivian, let's talk a little bit about the pension reform initiative that we implemented before the session closed. Tell our listeners a little bit about what we did for that.
We went door knocking just to educate the people in different state reps districts about the pension reform, just what it was, explaining to them just how the magnitude of the budget that it's having on us and how our taxes have to go up to sustain this, and this is unsustainable. I was pleasantly surprised at the positive reaction that we got, that people are starting to plug in, starting to understand, and were willing to sign those pensions.
The petitions.
I mean, the
pension reform petitions. Yep.
You know, and then another thing that our group, just trying to be proactive, what we're doing, we had a meeting in August, and that meeting was basically about property tax bills, because the pensions are based on the salaries of the teachers, and your property tax bill, over 50% of that comes from these teachers' salaries. You know, not exactly 50%, but the schools are 50% of the bill, I should say. And what we did with our August meeting is we wanted to educate people about what makes up their property tax bill. We wanted them to see that the school chews up most of that property tax bill.
Yes.
Because people are upset. They're going, why are my property taxes going up? But they're not really thinking about why. And then we have a meeting coming up September 26th. And what we want to do with that meeting is to show them that it's the school boards that approve those budgets, and that we really need to get the right people on the school boards. That is something that our group decided over a year ago, is we call it building our farm team. And we are looking for people from within our Tea Party group to run for local office. And we know, you know, once they get in that pipeline, they start moving up, and they may eventually become state reps or congressmen or who knows what from there. But what we want to do is get them in there and help support them and keep them true to Tea Party values. We had 3 aldermen in Lockport that are doing a great job, and we're supporting them. You know, they're getting a lot of flack for being Tea Party candidates, for cutting taxes, and
you know what? I just want to say something, because the exemplary model of what grassroots Tea Party activism is. You get people engaged and educated with these things, then they become part of that representative republic. And listeners, you can do this. You can get yourself plugged in at any level that is comfortable for you. You may be an online activist where you can do the social media and get emails out to your own universe. But our country, our state is clearly in peril, and elections have consequences, and 2012 is right around the corner, and I love to hear that you're getting people engaged at the school board level, at the state rep level. Our group Awaken America has done much of the same thing. We did a lot of walking for Joe Walsh last election cycle. I've said it a million times. I have walk sheets that are bigger than the health care bill, and we knocked on doors. And the most exciting and compelling thing for me as a grassroots activist was talking to Democrats, talking to independent voters about issues, and having them take a sign from a Republican candidate. This is not Republican or Democrat, but clearly the Republican Party is going to be the one that takes this country back in the right direction, along shoulder to shoulder with the grassroots and the Tea Parties. But I know the pension reform thing was great. Now, as far as, did you get any pushback from teachers for that last cycle? But once you educated them and they realized that they were not potentially not getting their pensions?
Oh, no, they did. They didn't want to hear it. As a matter of fact, there's a block in Lockport where almost all the high school teachers live. And I thought I was going to be tarred and feathered by the time I got to the end of that block.
You're brave. You're brave.
Yeah, one teacher said to me, he used an expletive and said, "What are you doing here?" He said, "We're all high school teachers on this block." And I thought, I thought my door knocking skills were tanking, because I thought, what am I saying wrong? Because these people were like, slam the door.
Hostile.
Yeah, and hostile.
A lot of hostility there.
Yeah.
But, and I think we need to emphasize how important these school board elections are. Let me tell you, what the biggest single government expense in Illinois is K-12 education. That's $30 billion a year. That's very important. That arguably is the most important political job in the state. If you could control all the school boards, you could cut costs by billions of dollars a year.
Well, Jack calls the IEA the enemy of the Republic.
The enemy of the Republic.
So he's not here to say it, and we have to emphasize the Illinois Education Association. But it goes back to the deals that have been made with lawmakers and how to hold them accountable and put good people in there that will have the political will to do what's necessary. Now, Bill, do you think teachers are aware that this pension is in such crisis and it's so unsustainable that if we keep going down this path, that the pensions, people clearly won't have
No, they don't believe that because they're being told constantly by the union bosses that it's not a problem, that the state will pay the pensions, they will catch it up, and that the...
Can I interrupt you? You said they're being told by the unions. That's fine. You can tell me anything you want to tell me. But you tell me something and you have data that proves it. Are these unions giving them data and facts and figures showing them that it is sustainable?
There are many teachers who provide hits to Champion News to check salaries of other people and pensions of other people. Yes, they're aware of this. We've been publishing a top 100 list for 10 years.
The unions. No,
the unions, sure they know it.
Not that they know it. Do they have facts and figures that are contradictory?
No, they never contradict
So they just give lip service. They just tell, but they don't give facts about it.
No, because the facts do not support them.
Keep in mind what they've been doing for years. The city of Chicago has looked to the Illinois state to bail them out. The state has looked to Washington to bail them out. And they've bailed them out several times. The problem is the city can't look to the state anymore because the state's broke. The state can't look to Washington anymore because Washington's broke. And so that's a dilemma that
there is.
We're
no
in
money.
this vortex
There is no money.
We're in a vortex. Thank you, Michael Brown. I love when you throw. Michael is a genius. Michael should be on this side of the camera, the radio.
The radio camera.
The radio camera. Well, you know what? I just want to know how they can influence them without substantiated facts, and how can we do better to give these teachers these facts to let them know that they may not have their pensions at all if reform doesn't happen.
That's going to be a very difficult sell because they do not believe it. I haven't met any teacher who doesn't think that they're going to get their pensions, no matter how big it is. It's guaranteed by the Constitution will be their first answer. Their second one will be, you owe it to us. It's an entitlement.
Is it
progressive.
guaranteed by the Constitution? Well, let's discuss that when we come back after our break. Stay with us.